All right. So we're Ecclesiastes 9. Try or
Go and
no,
start at 11 maybe, verse 11, or even 10
9.
maybe. 10 might be nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
So 10. And then to when?
I think I think we can go, well,
Should I just
maybe up
finish it
to
off?
13 or something. Yeah, see. Let's see how far we
Okay.
get.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatever your hands find to do, do it with your might. For there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going. I returned and saw under the sun that no race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. For man also does not know his time, like fish taken in a cruel net, like birds caught in a snare. So the sons of men are snared in an evil time, when it falls suddenly upon them. So that
That one's,
I like this a lot.
I
Uh,
had a feeling because it's deeper than I usually would go, but it seems like a John verse that would like.
Because like in 10, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. So like when you're just doing stuff, like you just find hobbies and do them is I think
Right.
more what I mean.
Yeah,
Because
like
like
our
to
carpentry
be
or
more relatable to what we're doing like modern age,
yes.
like whatever your hand finds to do. So like if I'm fixing up my house, stuff like that, or if I'm learning trades, doing, just learning how
Yeah.
to do stuff, I'm doing it with as much enthusiasm and like wonder and like,
Yeah.
just hunger for knowledge as I can.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's a gift that I got to like learn this thing. And I might as well like put in 100% effort while I have the time to do it.
It's
And
true.
it's like, if you're gonna do it, do it. And
And
like,
you're,
it
yeah,
doesn't always work out, but like, if you're doing something 100% every single time, eventually it's gonna work out
right.
and you're gonna get better at doing it.
And you find ways to make it better and easier, and you understand the process.
Right. It's a
But you have to
whole,
actually get in there and do it sometimes. A lot of times, most of the time.
yeah, there's, this is gonna be a weird connection, but there's a J. Cole song that just came out and it talks about him spending time in the trenches. And it's a concept that would be related to like generals in the military, like General Patton, who spent time in the front lines
Right.
and like talked to their soldiers. And they knew, and they had like, it's called having a pulse on something, but like they had a pulse on what they were doing. And it's
Right.
it's important. If you're like in
And
charge of things, you need to know at the very basic level of what you're doing, and you need to know everything from the bottom up.
exactly, like in a company as well, or like if you're a manager, it's good to you have to know all the what everyone's doing, the tiny pieces, the cleaning parts, the
Right.
everything,
It's
so
very
that
important.
make all the pieces work together.
Yeah. You gotta
Yes.
you're
Get
the
your
oil.
hands dirty, as they say, right?
Right. No, you gotta get your hands dirty. You definitely do.
Yeah.
Uh, and for there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going.
You got to do it while you're alive.
That that's it's does mean that, yes. But like to me, a lot of what held me up in the past was like a wonder of like why everything I was doing on Earth was at the end of the day going to mean nothing. And
Oh,
that statement meant nothing to me because there was no like enjoyment in life. At the
okay.
end of the day, I probably just didn't enjoy where I didn't know why. I didn't have like the purpose that I would have today. But
So it
like,
didn't make sense to do it.
it's not that it didn't make sense to do the things. At the end of the day, it didn't feel fulfilling to do them because I
Mm,
didn't want to. And it like, I just wasn't with it.
right.
But
Oh,
once you get past that,
then you can see it,
right, you're on the other side. It's like climbing a mountain. You don't see this other side, and all you have is this work in front of you.
the
And
uphill.
like, well, you think of like Sisyphus in the Greek or Roman mythology, where he's bound to Hades to push a rock up a mountain every single day. And like he has to do that every single day. And it's a tale that comes up in some philosophies to just relate it to human life. And we think of a lot of stuff as like goals. Um, but the goals, you always have to have new goals because you're always going to be achieving goals and you're always going to be doing things and you're always going to have to be starting over. And they relate that process of starting over, starting new things and working on yourself and reevaluating to Sisyphus pushing that rock up the mountain. Because at the end of the day, it's not easy. It's not like a good thing. You're not always going to be like enjoying the thing that you're going to be doing, but at the end of the day, as a human being, that's going to make you better.
Mm. And
So,
I mean, in terms of like now that you know that God has wrote it, it doesn't feel like it feels like there's a purpose, you know?
right.
Mm,
Yeah, the purpose is a big thing. And it's not even like I have like, there's not even a goal, but there's a faith in the purpose now that I didn't have before because I was just like, I think I've said it, you get lost in like the abyss. And it's just like there's just darkness everywhere. You can't find your way out, that kind of
mm,
thing. So you are
mm,
in a way kind of
okay.
like looking for light, but you got to
Right,
make sure that the light is
the Lord.
correct because there is false light.
Yes. Wow.
Who
Oh,
knows?
thank you, Jesus. Well, I'm glad that
But at the end of the day,
that
yeah,
you're here.
everything that you're doing on Earth, you're not going to be able to take with you, but it will make your life better while you're here. And it will like,
And
yeah,
as you said before, you can help others too. So that's
yeah.
really,
And that's helping
really,
others at the end of the day, helping others will only make your life better.
mm,
It doesn't even matter if it starts out with just the intention of helping people to make your life better. Eventually, you'll figure out what the real thing is if you keep doing that.
mm,
Hopefully. Otherwise,
yes.
you'll just be helping people and you'll still be doing good. So,
Oh, and then do you like the next part is like indented, like like uh
I do like
like
these little
it's a
things
part of a poem or something, right?
because I feel like this is like a monologue that somebody had. Somebody
So
probably said this.
like because it's Solomon that's writing Ecclesiastes, but
So it's
he
probably maybe something he just like thought to himself.
yeah, maybe his own thought, right?
Could be.
Yeah. Wow.
So I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift. So just because you're fast isn't, it's like the turtle and the hare. That whole story and lesson. Just because you're the fastest doesn't mean you're gonna win.
Right.
Just
Right.
because you're strong doesn't mean you're gonna win.
And we were watching some races with Jerry was watching, I think, some of the qualifiers or some races in world races, the track. And there was the girl, they were the a girl race, and then the one girl was watching the one girl to her left, and
Mhm.
the girl to her right just sped right past her because she was paying her. She thought the other one was the one that was gonna be the challenge.
And she didn't even think
She
about.
missed. Yeah, the
Uh,
other one was underrated, but and she didn't even see her coming, you know. But
right?
you're right.
Well, you got to be vigilant.
You got to be vigilant. Wow.
And then it says this, it's a little bit different than the other two, but like, even if you're smart, doesn't mean you'll be able to feed yourself.
I know.
Nor
Yeah.
riches to men of understanding. So just because you know things doesn't mean you're going to be wealthy or successful. Um,
So
Nor
that's
favor to men of skill. Just because you are good at things does not mean that other people will bend to your will.
or did you get the favor, the
Well, that's
chance?
what it is, favor.
Yeah.
So I think I've more seen it
Oh,
in when you see like TV characters, but when you see like people that are good at things, they think just because they're good at things, they can walk into a place and make other people just do things just because they say it. But that is a basic not understanding of all men being equal,
right.
and there's no humility in that,
Mm, okay.
possibly.
I understand. And in time, right? Because then it rains
Time.
on everyone, or, you know, like,
Well, but
something.
time and chance happen to them all. I
Right.
think I say this today all the time because I just say life happens.
Okay. Right.
But time and chance happen to them all. Like you live another day, anything could happen.
Right. As we go to the next verse, right?
Yeah.
You'll see that. Exactly.
But
For we don't
man,
know. Right.
yeah, you don't know when you're gonna die.
And you don't even know when you're, even if it wasn't just dead, your circumstances, your job could be gone in 1 minute. Anything could happen.
Right?
So,
Literally anything.
yeah. So, not to
No,
trust on that either, right?
right. Because thinking that is another philosophy thing. To, to like reevaluate one's death and one's standing. So I said in another video, you're just a man. That is reevaluate. So that was Marcus Aurelius in one of his books, and he was the emperor of Rome in like 160 AD. Um, and he would have this guy sit behind him, and he would whisper to him, "You're just a man." Because it would be like a daily reminder that even as the emperor of Rome,
Which was
as the
huge.
most powerful person in the known world at the time in Rome, was just a man. He could be stabbed and killed and manipulated just as easily as anybody else. And he needed that self-realization in himself every day to keep him humble and to keep him like vigilant.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's that similar concept.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true. Right, I got you. It's a good example.
But it's good to know. Yeah. Yeah,
It's good.
it's but that's not to put fear. It should put fear, but you shouldn't be afraid of it. Because fear doesn't have to be a bad thing. Fear can just be a motivating factor for you to do better.
Right. It puts things into perspective in
It should.
so you really think about what's important.
Right. Yeah. Well
Mm,
said. Like fish taken in a cruel net, like birds caught in a snare, so the sons of men are snared in an evil time, when it falls suddenly upon them. It feels like nowadays.
It does feel like nowadays sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Maybe it always felt like nowadays, you know?
maybe. Yeah, maybe it was still relevant to them.
Yeah,
So,
wars,
yeah.
and tornadoes. I mean, there's
Well, you said so this is
sometimes,
Solomon.
yeah,
What was
yes.
Solomon doing at the time while he's writing this?
This is later on in his life.
So this is like you think this is post Egypt?
This is when you say post Egypt, um it's not like Exodus or anything. It's way
No, no,
after
no,
that.
no, no. I mean, like his relationships with the nation of Egypt.
Oh, I got you. This would be after, like after, like because I think he married one of his wives was the Pharaoh's daughter or something, or
Right.
it would have been after that, I would think, you know.
Okay. So it was later. Well, you said he wrote a lot, some of the stuff like later in life.
Yeah, I mean it's from what the pastor has been teaching and stuff, like Proverbs was more of an earlier writing where Ecclesiastes was later on in his life. In so he had everything before, like he had riches and he had power. He had, I mean, he was the richest man alive and the most wise man alive. He had the stuff, and he realized that that wasn't really what like it could be taken away or changed, or it wasn't what to rely on,
Right.
because it even feels like he wasn't even happy sometimes, right?
Yeah, and that's why a lot of this stuff matters. Like at the end of the day, you cannot rely on another human being.
Right.
You can't
Or on
rely on anything physical.
right.
It's nothing
Yep.
is permanent.
Lord. Yeah. Yes.
Um, just think about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Exactly. Think about it. Oh, peace be with you.
Peace be with you.